Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach, and today I'm talking about how to know if your ex is still in love with you. Okay, so the first sign that your ex is still in love with you is if they reach out to you in a positive way. So if they're reaching out to you as is, they are initiating the conversation, they're the one that's reaching out to you first, then that's a good sign that your ex wants you back, or they're missing you, or at least that you are on their mind, okay? And the reason I say it has to be in a positive way, if they reach out to you in a positive way, is because sometimes an ex can reach out to you because they want something, like they want their stuff from your house, or they want you to come and collect your stuff, or if you've got kids together, they want to talk about the kids, right? So when an ex messages you, it's more an indication that they want you back if they are just inquiring about you and the conversation doesn't lead to some ulterior motive that they want. Right? So if they're just asking about you, they're like saying, hey, how are you? What have you been up to? Hope you're okay. And you're answering that, and then they reply back to you after you answer, and it seems like they want to keep the conversation going, then that's a good sign that your ex wants to get back together with you. So if you want to get back together with your ex, the best thing for you to do is when they do something like that, is to ask them when they're available to have a catch up. Say, oh, it's been really good to hear from you. It's been really good to talk to you. I was just wondering, we should have a catch up someday. When are you free? Okay, and then you proceed from there. And if you don't want your ex back, then probably it's best to ignore them. Or if you can't ignore them because you work together or because you have kids together, then maybe you want to keep the conversation short and sweet and kind of make it end quite fast. Because if you don't want them back, then, you shouldn't string them along, basically. So what's some other signs to know if your ex still in love with you and still maybe even wants to get back with you? So the next sign is that mutual friends or her friends or his friends, your ex's friends basically, starts to ask personal questions about you out of the blue. So you may not get a message from your ex, but you may actually get a message from a mutual friend or one of your ex's friends, and they're asking you personal questions like, do you have a new girlfriend? Do you have a new boyfriend? Whatever, right? They were asking you those kinds of things. Because basically what could be happening is your ex has asked them to reach out to you to see what you're doing with your life, to see if you're still single, to see if you've moved on. Because if you haven't, then maybe they will want to come back. But if this kind of thing does happen to you and you've got a mutual friend that reaches out to you and starts asking kind of fishy questions, it's getting a bit too personal basically, then what you want to do is you kind of want to have a sort of like a mysterious answer, right? So if they're like, oh, are you in a relationship now? You could just say, oh, I don't kiss and tell, or something like that. Because what you really want is your ex to reach out to you. You don't want their mutual friends to be relaying information back and forth to you. You want to keep things kind of like a little bit up in the air, a little bit of a mystery, so your ex then feels the desire to reach out to you themselves. Okay, so if you're hearing all these things from mutual friends, then it's best to kind of ignore it or to just be very mysterious about it, because you don't really know for sure if your ex is actually asking about you through the friends. It could be that those friends are just particularly nosy and they want to know because they like gossip. So you have to be a little bit careful. That's why you make it kind of like, that's why you answer their questions really mysteriously, as opposed to telling them flat out, oh yeah, I'm single. Is so and so still single? Things like that. Can you tell so and so I'm still single? You don't want to do that kind of thing. So just leave it a mystery and things like that. Because what you really want is you want your ex to reach out to you. You want to keep it between you two rather than have all these like weird middle people, right? Because it just makes things messy. And you never know when a mutual friend or one of their friends has ulterior motives, and perhaps they don't like you, or perhaps they don't want you to get back together. So they may not tell that your ex the right information anyway. So you just need to be really careful with mutual friends and things like that, and when your ex's friends reach out to you, because you never know what their intentions really are. So it's always best to be a little bit mysterious. You should always keep your love life under your hat anyway. You shouldn't really flaunt that too much anyways, because it never really goes well when you do, because other people try to get involved and it's just a bit messy. Can get very messy, okay? So another sign that your ex is still in love with you and still, or maybe wants you back, is if they try to be around you. So this is especially true if you know your ex from, if you go to school together, for example, if you go to college together, or if you work together. So if you work with your ex or you go to school with your ex, then what you'll find, if they're still in love with you, is they will try to be around you physically. And it may be the case that they should be on the other end of the building, but if they're still in love with you, if they still want to be around you, then they're going to find their way mysteriously to where you're at, basically, and try to be around you. But it has to be kind of like random and out of the blue and a bit surprising, because if, for example, they work with you in the same environment, then obviously, and you're quite close together anyway, in proximity, then obviously you can't really read much into those signs. But if they work in a different department, or if they go to different classes than you, and they somehow where you are, even though they shouldn't really be there, they should be on the other side of the building, then that's a sign that they still love you and they still care about you and they want to be around you. And the point is, as well, as they want to be around you, they may come and sit with you at lunch, or come and sit with you and your friends, or something like that. They will try to be around you. They may even come up and approach you and start talking to you, right? And again, if it's in a positive way, like how the messaging needs to be done in a positive way, if they reach out, like my first point, and they're just talking about you, they're inquiring about you, then if you want them back, then it may be a good idea to say to them, hey, it's been great chatting with you today, we should definitely have a catch up sometime out of work or out of school, right? And then just see what happens. Like, if they want to get back with you, then they'll eat that up. They will be like, yes, right? But if they don't, then they'll just say no, or think about it and stuff like that, and then you'll know, maybe something else was going on there, maybe I read too much into it. But again, it's just one of those things. If they like you and if they still love you, if they miss you, then they're going to try and be in your proximity, and they're going to try and prolong conversations with you. And all you need to do to basically figure out if you want them, to figure out if you should get back together with them, is to ask them out. Right, to see, and that also will let you know if they still like you, right? For sure, they'll let you know, because if they like you, then they're going to say yes to hanging out with you and having a catch up with you outside of work and school. Okay, so another sign that they are still in love with you is they interact with you on social media. Now, it may be the case that they start doing this out of the blue. They might just suddenly one day re-add you or start following you again. But with this kind of stuff on social media, I would take it with a pinch of salt, because you never really know basically what's going on inside your ex's head. It could be that they've just re-added you because they're trying to be nosy. So if they do re-add you and they start liking your stuff and watching your stories, then just hold off, stay in no contact, and wait for them to actually reach out and message you. Because when an ex got back or tried to get back with me, what she did first was she re-added me on Facebook. Then after like about a week or so, or a few days, then she messaged me. So hold off until they message you. If they start doing sort of things on social media, they're interacting with you again on social media. So just wait and hold off until they reach out to you, until they message you. And then all you need to do then is, again, if you want them back, to ask them when they're available to have a catch up and arrange to do so. Okay, arrange a date and a time and a place with them. Okay, so these are the signs that your ex still loves you, still has feelings for you. So the only question left then is will you want them back? Will you want to be with them again? Right, and you have to really think about that and take that into consideration. Because when an ex of mine started talking to me again, I realized this was when I was still single, I realized that I didn't want to date her again. But for a moment then I was thinking about it. I was debating. We were, making plans to actually meet up and hang out. But then I realized I shouldn't really be getting back with this girl, because there were a lot of things that she said, a lot of things that she'd done that I wasn't 100% happy with. So I realized then that this was someone I shouldn't be getting back with. So you need to do the same. You need to really consider whether or not you should be getting back with them, and if you would really want them back anyway. Because what usually happens is when two people get back together after a breakup, even though the first couple of months are really great and there's a lot of great makeup sex and things just feel really good, what happens usually eventually is they realize, your ex may realize, or you may realize, that nothing has actually changed, and that person has actually changed, and things are still bad in the relationship, and the breakup will happen again eventually anyway. So the breakup just happens again. So to save yourself a wasting time, basically, because that's what can happen if you get back with an ex when the relationship is already doomed and you feel like you're wasting your time, You know, it is a waste of time to do that kind of thing. So you don't want to, you got to really think about that. You got to really think, do I really want to waste my time with something that's probably going to end anyway, when I can be doing other things with my life and trying to find someone better, right? Because what is ultimately going to really help you get over this is if you find someone who is better looking than your ex, who treats you better than your ex, who's nicer than your ex, and also who you get along with more, and maybe you have more things in common, so you actually enjoy each other's company a lot more. If you find someone like that, then you're easily going to get over your ex, and you're no longer even going to be thinking about them, at least as much, okay? So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you would like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.